What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today I have a fantastic video for any Battlefield fans out there because Battlefield 2042 Season 4 is going to be absolutely insane. And honestly, the more information that I see about it, the more excited I am surprisingly getting. Now, of course, all this information is going to be courtesy of Temporal. For anybody who doesn't know this individual, he's over on Twitter. You'll actually see his link and all of his stuff and every single image that I showcase on the screen here for you guys. He is, like I said, a GOAT. He goes ahead and data mines pretty much anything related to Battlefield, and a lot of his information typically always comes true. Now, of course, I'm not going to go ahead and mention any maps or any future updates or anything of that sort, just specifically the things that we have no clue about yet when it comes to Season 4, because, things like portal weapons being introduced in these mid-season updates and stuff like that, and also the new map that we're going to be seeing as well. We've already talked and discussed about this stuff, hundreds of different times probably, but the stuff in this video is still, like I said, when I saw all of these things, it just made me extremely excited. Now, the first thing that I think I want to go ahead and start off with, because, it's a little bit more of a rough topic for the Battlefield community, is the new specialist that we're going to be getting in Battlefield 2042 Season 4. Now, remember, the specialists aren't really specialists anymore. They're trying to turn them into the class system. So this will be our last and final specialist that we will ever see in Battlefield 2042. And of course, this individual is going to be cycled right into the recon class. And as you can see right here, apparently her name is going to be Camila Blasco. Now, again, these images aren't real. They're AI generated, and we'll have to wait until the actual season drops so we can see what's going on here. But her role, she's an ambush expert. Camila does not trigger motion-based gadgets and cannot be targeted by Boris's Sentry gun. So basically, she's going to be your flanker. Anybody who likes to flank, get behind enemy lines, this is going to be your character. Now, honestly, that makes me extremely excited. Being someone who enjoys flanking and being aggressive in Battlefield games, it's one of my favorite things to do in the world. I mean, what's better than going on a map like Operation Locker, getting a perfect flank and just slaughtering a whole team right in front of your eyes? It's fantastic. So this is going to be a great addition into Battlefield 2042. And then, of course, she's going to have the X6 infiltration device. The device creates a dead zone, which jams spotting information and incoming lock-ons. This zone also reveals enemy tech until the device is destroyed, deactivated, or removed. That's great. So once again, if you want to defend vehicles, if you want to play a little bit more of a, passive, laid-back role, you can go ahead and do that. You can actually assist your teammates who are maybe flying, who are going around in tanks, to help them avoid getting locked on 24/7, which is now a massive problem when it comes to 2042, I would say. So this will be a perfect counter to all of that nonsense. And again, like I said, her special attribute, I personally think is fantastic. Now, again, I don't really use the Recon class that much, but it's an addition to the game that, in my personal opinion, is welcome. They're finding a good way to bring in a new specialist without making her, too dominant of a specialist, making her kind of slide into the class system nice and smooth without bringing any complex issues. Now, of course, we won't know that for sure until we actually play as the specialist and see what she's all about, but I'm just assuming because so far, so good when it comes to the integrated class system. I actually have been really enjoying Battlefield 2042, and the classes have definitely added more team play to the overall flow of the Battlefield experience. All right, so next up, we're going to the new vehicle that's going to be added into Season 2. And once again, this is something that I am just stupidly excited for because we don't really have that many infantry vehicles when it comes to Battlefield 2042. I mean, we do have the MAV, but I wouldn't really consider the MAV as a infantry-focused vehicle. I usually consider that as like, a nice spawn point. If you have someone who knows how to rock that, you can literally have waves of just teammates pouring in almost as like a mobile spawn beacon to help overcome certain objectives. Now, yes, you can go ahead and roll into places and, try to tear it up, but it's just so slow and it's so easy to take down. Overall, I wouldn't really say there is an effective squad vehicle that is only focused on infantry that is at least heavy armored. I mean, we do have the EBLC Ram, but again, I wouldn't really consider that, a massive squad vehicle. But coming into Season 4 of Battlefield 2042, they are indeed bringing in another infantry-focused heavy armor vehicle, the Cav Brawler. This right here is fantastic. Fantastic. We needed something like this, in my personal opinion, in the Battlefield 2042 mix. Like I said earlier, we just simply don't really have any vehicles that are mained for only infantry that need a lot of people to man. Like I said, we do have the Ram, but it only takes a couple of people, realistically only one person to man the Ram to actually be effective. But this is what I'm talking. I want a vehicle that's going to be heavy duty, that's probably going to be holding 5+ individuals in this bad boy, multiple different guns, that is going to be solely focused on infantry combat. This is perfection. Again, we have tanks, we have AA vehicles, we have jets and helicopters, but we don't have any ground armor that's good for this type of stuff. Yeah, you have your Humvees and your bolts, but like I said, you guys get the point that I'm trying to make here. We realistically don't have anything like this in Battlefield, so this is completely welcome in my personal opinion, as long as they can balance it out. And with all honesty, I completely think they will balance it out. It's not like this thing is going to have 6, 7, 8 different gunners, shooting around at all angles while this thing moves at the speed of light. That's not how it's going to work. It might be 2, maybe 3 gunners, and the majority of the other space is just going to be people who could maybe repair it and just passenger space. Like I said, it's great. I personally love it because it will be a way for infantry to be able to maneuver the map a lot easier and more efficiently. It's just going to be such a cool addition, and I can't wait to get my hands on this new vehicle. And the next couple of things I'm going to go ahead and discuss with you guys are things that I am extremely excited about. Now, I don't know about the rest of you because I don't know what weapons you all are particularly, extra excited about, but for me, I love assault rifles and SMGs. That's just simply my playstyle, and that's exactly what we're going to be going ahead and getting. The first weapon is going to be the RM68. Now, this thing looks like an absolute demon. It comes integrally suppressed, and it is very highly accurate. Now, what I'm assuming is that this weapon is going to be a much more slow fire rate type weapon, but obviously extremely highly accurate. And also, weapons that have integrated suppressors are just some of my favorites. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just love them to death. Now, like I said, I'm excited about this. I love assault rifles, and this might not be the AR that I always gravitate towards. I don't really care for more of the slower firing rifles that are extremely highly accurate. Maybe if I play on a map like Hourglass, where the ranges are really long, and I opt out of using DMRs and stuff like that, yeah, I could see myself using this rifle. But 9 times out of 10, I gravitate more towards things like the SCAR or the M5, the AM, stuff like that, SMGs. I'd just like to get up in people's faces, get aggressive, and have a little bit of a range as well when it comes to assault rifles. So I don't know if it's going to be something I use all day, every day, but at the end of the day, it's still an AR. It's something that's going to be added to the content collection of Battlefield 2042, and even though the content is still kind of small when it comes to new content, I will take it, especially, like I said, since it's an assault rifle. And finally, the last weapon that I have for you guys, of course, there probably will be more information that comes out later on, which I'll gladly go ahead and discuss, but at this very moment, this is all the stuff that Temporal really has out, diving deep into Season 4. But the final weapon is a new SMG called the AC-9. Now, this SMG is going to have a hydraulic buffer system, and it's also going to be highly versatile and compact. Basically, to go ahead and put it into more simpler terms, this SMG is going to be absolutely cracked out of its mind. Now, the only thing that I could possibly see is that they balance it out in a way of it having pretty darn bad damage, but realistically, I don't think they're going to do that. This SMG is going to rock the battlefield. I guarantee it. It's going to have virtually no recoil, and it's going to be able to be used across the board. Up close and personal, medium range, long range. Basically, it's going to be your all-around, probably favorite gun. More than likely, it's going to take the place of the PBX, even though the PBX still has a little bit more recoil, but like I said, this will probably go ahead and take its place. At the end of the day, I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that at all, because I think personally, in Battlefield 2042, even though they haven't really added too much new content into the mix, and they are just mostly focusing on bringing Portal stuff into Battlefield 2042, I still think the majority of all the weapons are extremely fun. There is not one single SMG or one single assault rifle that I do not enjoy using, that I will never touch ever. There's not a single one. Now, before there was, in the beginning of the game when it launched, there was a bunch of weapons that were absolute doo-doo. Not the SMG. The SMGs were ridiculous, but the ARs, there was a handful of ARs that just weren't good. Right now, in its current spot, every freaking gun is cracked. And I love that. That's what I love about Battlefield games, and that's what makes Battlefield so fun. Now, of course, previous Battlefield games that had more content, so, they had a perfect balance across the board, but it was just endless stuff to play with. In this game, they don't have as much content, but they definitely stayed true to making sure everything was balanced and fun to use. So at the end of the day, am I stressed about this SMG taking over and being the most overpowered thing ever? No, not even in the slightest. For me personally, this is just going to be considered new content, something fresh and enjoyable to play with, and if anything, it'll be balanced out in the future. If it is too overpowered, then, so be it. They'll go ahead and nerf it down. But man, it's just great to see that they are putting their focus on the the areas that this game needs. They're not focusing on a bunch of bullcrap that doesn't need to be touched upon, that doesn't need to be fixed, that doesn't need to be adjusted. They're not pulling a Call of Duty here where they touch stuff that's perfectly fine. No, they're looking at the spots of the game where it's weak, that needs, improvements. They know that we need new ARs. They know that we need new SMGs. They know that we need new vehicles that are infantry focused. They know, and they are proving to us that they know, and I respect that, and I am extremely happy to go ahead and give Season 4 a try. Like, I'm really pumped. The new map looks fantastic. The content that it looks like we're going to be having looks fantastic. The specialist that they're adding into the game looks like she's going to fit in perfectly with the class system and will not, make any major, things that are going to be obnoxious about the game happen. I have no complaints about what I've been seeing here. And again, I'm extremely excited to finally get my hands on. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new, enjoy the content, don't subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.